Welcome to another live. Today I bring Evelina Åström. Yes, I'm saying the name right. Evelina Åström is trauma-informed leadership mentor and relationship expert specialized on confrontation management and for highly sensitive, big heart women, female entrepreneurs. So I will talk with Evelina about managing relationships while we are introverted fempreneurs showing up for our business. Many times we establish relationships, different type of relationships, and it may come confrontations in several aspects, but many times we forget about the people who is close to us, and sometimes they don't quite understand what we do. We feel they don't give us the support we are looking for, and sometimes it brings confrontations. I made a little bit of an introduction of you, but I wanted to talk a little more about you so we can know you better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a trauma-informed leadership mentor, and I specialize in helping highly sensitive, big-hearted, highly sensitive female entrepreneurs to manage confrontations with ease and with inner peace. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yes, and I totally love your vibe. How I never work with you, but the vibe you pass, I already see that you are in the right niche because all the vibe you emanate is so stunning, and that's why I invited you to come here, and we agreed to talk about managing relationships while we are introverted fempreneurs showing up for our business, and many times we don't have the support we want to have. Many times also because there's some miscommunication and like we need to sell ourselves to our ideal clients, we also need to sell ourselves to our families and friends, right? So they can understand what we do and support us. And support can come from several ways, right? And talk a little bit about what you experience with your clients. I believe you also have clients that are fempreneurs who have online business. And tell me a little bit about what they try to overcome, they try to solve in their relationships.
So I have some that specifically struggles with social media to show up, and because they are afraid of people's opinions and people's, ideas of how they should do, and so on. So they are afraid of confrontations on social media for sure. I also have most of my clients have like more of a general fear of confrontations. They don't want to do wrong. And I think that's classic for us that are highly sensitive.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you check your internet? I'm losing you from time to time. Hi, Laura. Hi. I don't know the name of the other person. Welcome, welcome. If you are watching this, tell us also if you are watching us in the right place, okay? So we can see if our connection is okay. Sorry to interrupt, and go on.
Problem. Yeah, just tell us if something doesn't work. But yeah, so most of the times, being highly sensitive, we struggle with, we have a big conscious, like a high conscious. We really want to avoid conflicts, right? Because we're sensitive, so we can sense tension so strongly, and it's not fun, right? And I think like when it comes to confrontations and being highly sensitive, it's, you know, it's a hard thing. And I think many times we judge ourselves, like, did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Like, why did this person get so angry or, you know, irritated or whatnot? And when it comes to social media, it's kind of the same. I mean, we put ourselves out there, and especially if we are having a personal brand, and, you know, it's us, it's it's ourselves being out there in front of everyone. And even though it's not on a stage, it's still kind of a stage, and it feels scary. So yeah, definitely.
Totally, totally. And do you feel, I feel this, but I want to understand if you also feel, do you feel they suffer from anticipation?
Oh, explain the word a little bit. I'm from Sweden.
Yeah, I'm from Portugal, so
Yeah.
my English. So
Anticipation, like
suffering from
being
anticipation,
worried about
yes,
doing it.
thinking that there's the feeling of a fear of judgment, right? And many times,
Yeah,
mostly on introverts, we may have a very creative minds, and sometimes our creativity goes to the wrong way, and we oh my gosh, I missed the word.
like
uh, we suffer
overanalyze.
from anticipation, yes, and instead of saying people what we are, or our close people, what we are doing, what we will start to do, um, we don't talk, and then when we see that they see us, we suffer from anticipation. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a sensitive topic to, you know, it's one thing to put ourselves out there in front of unknown people because we don't have a relationship to them. So kind of doesn't matter what they think about you, but when it comes to your personal relationships, it of course affects you more because it might be the one that you will eat dinner with later this evening, or it could be, you know. So of course that's scary and make you uncomfortable. Yeah. Um, and I mean, a lot about being a business owner and an online entrepreneur is about finding the courage to be yourself and do it without hesitation, right? Because you need to just show up, and it's scary many times, really scary. And it's been that for me as well. But I think when I look at myself and my own journey, I see that, you know, yeah, it's scary to show up and be me, but at the same time, um, it's not dangerous. So that's my, and I mean, I've been really scared, yeah, but I've done it anyway. But I think you need the courage, and you need it through support from people around you. So if you don't really get that support, if you get someone questioning you, especially those that you want support from, like your partner or your mother or I don't know, it's of course sensitive and it just makes it a little bit harder to actually find that courage to show up and be out on social media. So yeah, yeah. And it's about everything when you're doing a business. It could be like someone having an opinion about the topic, the specialization you have, or how you speak about it, or of course it's not just how you look. It's about what you speak about, how your opinions about something, and how you try to solve this problem and so on. So yeah.
Yes, totally. And it's also important to understand what is the feedbacks that we accept, because yes, they always will give us feedback, and it's important to understand which of the feedbacks we will embrace to us. because although some are very valid, others they are not experienced. They some of our family and friends members never had an online business or even a business, right? So there are
Yeah,
some.
they don't
It's
know.
like being like we say in Portugal, see as being a bank. I don't remember the word in English. When we people go to football and everyone is a coach, right? Saying how
Yeah,
people
opinion.
should play.
Yeah,
Yes, so
and I
everyone
think
is a coach.
and I'm actually gonna say something because I really want to empower all the women that are listening to this. And it's actually like if you get criticism and you feel that you get sensitive about it, like maybe you want to cry because it doesn't feel right in your body, you get sad. It's something that just makes you questioning, like, should I even do this? Criticism can do so much to you. And and actually, like being highly sensitive uh, makes you actually really good at knowing the truth behind words. And that means
Yes,
that if you get criticism, if someone says to you, you shouldn't do this, you will never get money from doing this, or I don't know, let's say they say that, and it's your uncle. I mean, what do he really knows that? No, but it makes you sad. Okay. The thing with being highly sensitive is that you know the truth behind that, and the truth behind that could be that he actually are afraid of you, or for you, not to succeed, or he has some fears behind his way of speaking to you. And normally that actually is, I don't know how to explain it, but I talk a lot about my programs that I have is called Guardians of Feminine Light. Yeah, because I really want us to protect our feminine light inside of us. And when someone give you criticism like that, it's kind of them trying to evoke your fears, evoke your darkness inside of you, instead of like empowering you to do what you believe in, and try to succeed instead. And I think when we get criticism, I don't think we're bad at getting criticism. I think that we're really good at knowing what the criticism is about. And when sometimes we get feedback and we don't get sad because we feel like, wow, thank you, that was a good feedback. So sometimes we're not sensitive. So I think we need to look at it like, why do I actually get sensitive about this right now? Because normally your sensitivity should be your ally. It should be, it's your body telling you something. And I think, yeah, that's what I teach, because I really believe that we need to start learning how to understand our sensitivity when it comes to criticism, or when it comes to confrontations, or it doesn't matter if it's personal relationship or in business, but in business you're kind of sensitive because you're the owner. Maybe you're a solopreneur, so you don't have any other to discuss the situation with, so you have to take decisions by yourself. So I think that's why it's extra important to get that idea of what is this about really, underneath. And when it comes to social media, I mean, we also have the part about getting a lot of whole DMs and all that, and also finding our own way of do more organic marketing and show up on social media, and find a way that really feels good in our hearts. Because I think the part about being on social media as a highly sensitive is also that normally I don't think we feel comfortable if we're not our authentic self. And when it comes to a lot of coaches out there, they teach us a lot of stuff that we try to adapt but it might not fit us and feel right to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's also part, because if you try to show up as that coach tells you to do, and you don't really ask yourself, like, how do I want to show up? What is my true self? Like, how will I do this?
Yes,
That's also something that can make you uncomfortable.
You brought 2 points that I love it. That one is about accepting the criticism, and we also need to understand where this criticism comes, because many times the people around us, mostly the family and friends, they want the best for us, and the criticism they make come from their experience and their beliefs and their fears, and many times we need to see what we want to accept, and we need to understand from what energy comes from that criticism, because many times they come from their own fears, and their fears may not be our fears, and we may not understand what's coming from there. So it's very important to understand this comes from them. It's not that we are doing wrong, but it's not in alignment with what they believe, what they have experienced, and the fears they have. All of us have fears, and all of us we can pass through the same situation and bring different experience and insights from there. Right? So
I actually have an example on that. I had a relative that when I found my niche, and I mean, it's a special niche I do, I told a relative that don't know anything about doing business, and she really didn't think that was a good idea because, I was a new entrepreneur, but I decided to help other entrepreneurs. And just as a thing, I really have long experience in how to handle confrontation. I've studied on universities. For me, this is something I'm really good at. But I decided to help other female entrepreneurs, and I feel so much joy in that. So I told her, and she didn't think that was a good idea, because I was a new entrepreneur. How could I, all that. But I feel confident about myself and my expertise, and I decided to not listen to that. Like it started fears inside of me. It was like I was starting to think, like, oh, should I do this? Or, oh, maybe, but what if she's right? Or, it's easy to get your own fears by listening to others' fears.
Yes.
And that's why I say it's so important to get, to get aware of that. Like, it's coming from a fear from someone else. Do I want to adapt that? Do I want to listen to that? Do I want to, do I care? Or should I listen to my heart? And I'm all about doing business leading from heart. So I'm always asking myself, is it my heart talking or is it fear? So yeah, it evokes fear in us when someone gives you criticism from fear.
Yes. And I was about to say something and I forgot.
What's it about?
Oh my gosh.
About DMs
I remember. It's important to understand. Oh my gosh, my brain. It's important to understand that other people don't have the same vision we have for our business, right?
Yeah.
So that's, and it's aligning with what you were telling, that we need to understand what we want, and if the criticism and the feedback we are getting, if it's in alignment with our vision, because many times they try to make us go to the path they believe, but it's not what we want. It's not what we believe. And I also get
slide
that
up our own path by listening.
Yes, here at home, I also get that. And okay, I appreciate your feedback, but I know what I want. Because many times we can explain some things, but even this also has is very related with our own personality, right? And we can have a more outgoing personality, more a go-getter or more restrained, and the values differ also. And what's good for me, for my sister, for instance, is, oh my gosh, no. So her feedback can go to their sense of belief, right? Their her values,
Yeah.
and it's very important to keep our vision in mind. We can move a little bit the path, but we need to go and keep close to our vision so we can go for it. And other thing that you were telling about coaches telling what you should do, and what I believe is everything works.
Yeah.
Because everything is aligned with different essence and different personalities. And it's true that in business, until we find what works for us, we need to try, right?
Yeah, we try a lot. And I think that's the thing. Like if we feel uncomfortable with doing something, that most likely is like communication that, okay, this part is not aligned with me, maybe. So it's
Yes.
important to like learn how to, because sometimes we need to push ourselves to take action. So we might do something that is uncomfortable, like going live like this, or I don't know. But sometimes doing it is about like, no, this is not the path for me, and learn how to like navigate that and know when it's not your path and when it's actually just something you need to push through and do even if it's uncomfortable. So
Yes, totally. And many times we are in alignment with the goal or the result they promise, right?
yeah,
But not with the strategy. Not because there are many ways to reach
in
the
many
same goal.
ways.
There are, like we say in Portugal, there are several paths to go to Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not only one road to go to Rome. So we
No,
need to, we can keep want that result, but we need to understand what works for us. And many times we need to try different things to understand what is in alignment with us. And
yeah,
that's why I say, and we just in moments ago, we are talking about the pitching and DMs, and we may not like it, but it's aligned with someone else's beliefs and values, right? We may not like and we may not agree, but it works because if people are doing that, sometimes people keep teaching things that don't really work. But in general, there are many things that work, but not all of them will work for us because it's not in alignment with our beliefs, with our values.
yeah,
And when things don't match,
exactly.
we don't put the same energy on them, right? And
No, so that can be
it's like the
a
same.
big part of like if it doesn't work, if you struggle like doing something, that might be something around that. Like it's not really in connection with your values or so on. So yeah,
Yes,
that's really
yes.
interesting. And
And it's something that overwhelms me. It's not the right word, but now I don't have another one. But something that I don't agree and I don't like to see, and probably you also see people saying that this is the way. If you don't do like this, you won't succeed.
yeah,
You
it's
do
like almost
because
scaring people.
yes,
Uh,
because it worked for them like this, but it's not the only way. And even I don't use that communication because I know there are several ways to work on how to show up, right?
yeah,
But I teach what I embrace it for me and work it for me. And
exactly.
it's very important also to deliver what we already accomplished or we had success and not try to sell something we never done or we never experienced it. And this can also be be attached to confrontations, right? In relationships.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to social media, one strategy I have, because I don't want to involve with like anyone. I want to involve with a specific kind of people that lights me up, right? In my business. Like why invite people you don't want to work with to you, right? So when it comes to social media, I'm quite, I have decided who I want to have there and not, and I take away people I don't really want there. Like I have decided who I really want in my life and in my business. And I think that's something we can allow ourselves to do as well. And I mean, if you have someone that do criticize you or do makes you feel really bad about what you try to create or do, I think allow yourself to set boundaries as well on social media. I think that's important.
So important. And I'm always saying that here on Instagram, my following account could be much bigger if I will allow it to everyone. But I'm always deleting people because they are not aligned with my people. And yesterday, I on Facebook, I also deleted more than 100 people. That nowadays. Accepting the friendship requests, I'm very intentional and I don't accept anyone, and I have a bunch of them to review because I don't. It's not a numbers game.
No,
in this
it's not.
It's not. So it's very important, and people also need to realize this. And it's the way to set boundaries also. So don't need, mostly as introverted fempreneurs, we feel things differently, and bringing that bad energy can impact how we show for our business. And it's also a way to avoid confrontations, right? If we don't to deal with some type of confrontation, if we see people that are not in alignment, even when we interact with other people's content, we can see other people's vibe, and we can even block that person ahead from them reaching to us, right? And if you don't like appointment setters and you see that they are connecting with you, you can block so they don't go to our DMs and all those things. It's a way to also to protect ourselves. And many times people are mostly nowadays that we see so many people saying that grow your accounts from 8 to 80 like this, and they are very focused on the numbers, the following numbers, but you know that having many followers, it's also a vanity thing, right? It's more to show off, and this doesn't mean that we will convert or all those people are aligned with what we do and what we believe and what we want to support people with, right? And we don't we don't want to work with everyone.
No.
And that's also very important. Do you support your clients also in this part, them being fempreneurs? Do you support them to know how to analyze who is a good fit for them, so they can prevent from working with people that bring the bad energy? And because there are many people that say that want our help, but then when they go to our containers, we see that they are expecting us to do the work for them. They are not a good fit, right?
Mm.
Do you?
Yeah. So I work. I'm not a like business coach, so I try to be clear about that. But of course, when it comes to confrontation in your business, it comes down to relationships in your business and like how to navigate it and how to work it out. And what I give them is I help them to use their highly sensitivity to actually navigate all those decisions. So it's not, I don't give them like a this is how you should do it. I help them find their own navigation, their own compass inside of them. So when it comes to like social media, sometimes you find someone that asks for a collaboration or whatever, and you need to actually like really sense, is this something you should put your energy on? Like it's, so I think it comes to many situations on social media to be good at navigating and know yourself. And when it comes to showing up on social media, I should say, like, as I said in the beginning, a lot of like the clients I have that talk about social media as something they are afraid of showing up on because of confrontation and opinions from others. It comes down to them actually being afraid of showing their authentic self, like being themselves. But at the same time, I think they are uncomfortable showing up as someone else as well. So they want to be themselves, but it's scary. And I think so that's a big part of it, like finding the strength inside of them, the empowerment to actually show up and not care about the fears in your head, say telling like you shouldn't do this. What if? What So
And it's normal. I speak for myself, and it's normal when we start showing up. It's normal that we try to be perfect and we are not in our true nature.
yeah,
But the more we do, the more comfortable we get. It's not the more we do, the perfect we get. No, ditch that. It's the more we do, the more comfortable we get. The better we improve, right?
yeah.
And yes, totally. I have here a question. Just let me read.
Mhm.
Laura asks, I'm currently watching a video on creating an alter ego for being online. Do you think this is a good idea? Tell me your thoughts about this.
Hmm. So creating an alter ego online. Um, hmm. Do I understand it right? It's like um, going into a role online, doing another account, or I don't know
No,
what.
what I understand here is creating an alter ego, I say a higher self. And yes, we are always wanting to evolve. We are in this world to evolve. And when people don't want to evolve, this is something that I cringe with this. And we are here to evolve. And yes, it's important for us to envision what we want to become, right? And we need to be to become. Create an alter ego here. What if you can explain more? I think Laura is still watching us. If you can explain more, I would appreciate. But I think she's talking about not creating a persona or a character to hide yourself and being someone else, but
Mm,
envision who you want to be and go on that energy. I think is that, and if it's that, I believe it's a good idea. Yes, because we need to envision who we want to become and start not shift in a day to from the night to day, but to start to bring things we want, right? And it's also aligned with our vision of success. If we want to improve, for instance, we if we want to become a speaker, a stage speaker, we can start by doing lives, guest lives, right? We, if we never show that, and we can start with taking pictures and be confident and comfortable being seeing ourselves in pictures on camera. Then we can start doing, for instance, stories that we can show up on video. They go off on 24 hours, right? And we can start creating more confidence in showing up. Then we can start with reels, short videos, and bringing other people. Many people don't start lives because they think they need to be there plenty of time and what I gonna talk about, right? But when we bring other people, we can have a conversation and we ask one thing, you ask another thing. Is it goes it flows better, and we create a more confident and comfortable way to show up, right? And then we step by step we are creating um, um, steps. We are creating, we are evolving, and then we will get to the confident side of starting to be guests at summits, podcasts, go on stage and speak. This is aligned with the vision. This was an example that I brought here, and it's a little bit related. It's related, not just a little bit, but it's totally related with showing up for your business. But this can goes in other aspects, and creating alter ego. I believe she's talking about that, going after the higher self. Start not waiting to things being perfect and have all things ready to then make the shift and I was this and now I'm that. No, it's a step by step, and we can bring things daily or weekly, bring things together so we can be to become. Many of us also tend to compare ourselves. There's a quote, I don't remember the quote, but don't compare your level 1 to other people level 80, something like that, right? And many times we see, I'm thinking here about Tony Robbins, but he's on level 1000. but but we tend to compare people with
I think that's something on social media as well. Like when I was starting to look at people's accounts, like how do my competition, I don't know how you say it, but how do other coaches look like on social media, and especially on Instagram. I was looking at, and I was thinking like, whoa, she is really successful. Then I was looking up how much she was actually earning, and she didn't earn enough to live on it. Absolutely not. It was really, so she was showing up as someone successful, but in reality she wasn't. So I guess it can be, in the beginning when I was looking at others, they look so successful, so I was like, whoa, what is this? But then I realized, like, so that made me really scared, like, oh, I was comparing myself. But in the end, it was just it wasn't the reality. It was just my head. I was scared, and it wasn't the truth. They were showing up something else than the truth. And even though that might give them confidence, I think because as you was explaining, it's like smiling even though you're not happy, because then you feel those emotions and you can start. So that's a way of doing it. But the other thing I think when it comes to, so my belief is that I think the most important thing is to honor yourself, and like, you don't need to be anyone else than you. Like, you're so fantastic exactly how you are. And I think So in this picture of this successful coach that I was looking at, she wasn't successful. At the same time, if you look at someone else that doesn't look successful, might be successful. And it might be like just 100 followers. And it might be like someone just showing up as themselves with like a hoodie or something. And you're like, how could that person be successful, but not the one with like this beautiful graphic designs and so on? And I think that when it comes down to that, I believe that especially us that are introverts and highly sensitive and so on, we're a lot up in our head. So we start to compare and like, oh, what? But it's also that we can, I think in the end, if we get inspired by someone, it's not the outwards, it's the inside. So we get inspired by the deepness, the wisdom, the inside of a person inspires us. It's not the outside, but the outside can help you to, as you say, like smile even though you're not smiling, just to like find the courage to go out there. But in the end, it's all about like finding, not judging yourself, finding the love for who you are, and just show your wisdom, because you have wisdom inside of you. For sure.
Yes, totally. And this is also about managing inner or inside confrontation, right? And it's very, very important. There's something that I first heard from Tony Robbins, and I see many coaches bring, is that when he has this, I love quotes. He has this quote that is, attention goes where energy flows, or energy flows where attention goes, something like this.
I've heard that.
If I tell you to go around you and see all the things red, go and see, we can name it. I have a lot of red here, it's my color. I have a lot of red, but if you ask me to then tell me a blue thing, probably I'd say one of two things, because I was focused on the red one. And here on social media, the algorithm do that for us. When we start following or watching people that preach that you need a lot of followers, you follow that person, the algorithm will show you more people that preach the same. And you start believing this is the way. And when I started online business, in my past business, I thought that, and I made a lot of mistakes. I thought that I thought I needed to have a polished personal image. I thought I needed to have a polished grid, until I started to I knew the Gary V. I don't know if you know Gary V.
No.
He's amazing. He swears a lot. But in English it seems better than in Portuguese. So I love his mind, his compassion. He's very straightforward, but I love him. And he's not polished, he swears a lot, his greed is not polished, all that thing. And once I started to see him, and he's very successful, when I started to see him, algorithm started to show me other people having success, not being themselves, their true selves. We feel all the energy, and they are not all polished. Then I started to have mindset shifts, because I thought I needed to be that way, and I was not feeling myself. And I was seeing, oh my gosh, there are so many. And then I worked with 3 years with a coach that she was unpolished, was straightforward, was all the thing, and she is also successful. And we also need to understand what is successful. What is your vision of success? It's not just about money. It's not just about possessions, right? You need to understand that, because many people only show that and you feel, oh, I need to do this to do that. But when you go to see people's lives, they are not successful in the other areas. So yes, we want to earn money. We have business to earn money, and hopefully not just to pay bills, right? We want to have freedom. That's why we are not working for someone else. We want to have freedom in several areas of our life. But it's important to understand what we value, what are the areas we want to put effort to be successful at, what is our vision of success, and if the persons we see successful, if they are like you were saying about that person, that person that was showing a life that she didn't really have. And many people say, make 10K, 10K is the buzzword, right? Make 10K in a week, something like that. Oh, I made that in such time. But you need also to understand they may made that, but they don't have that. It's different.
Yeah.
And for them to make that, they have several things at place to reach that. It's not from day to night, although they sell a little bit that it's from day to night, but it's not. There needs to be systems in place. We need to have a base to accommodate all of that, right? And many people just focus on the outcome, the result. So it's very important to also manage these confrontation, these beliefs. Yes.
I think actually I just want to say something also about people pleasing on social media because talking about people pleasing, that's also like a big part of what I talk about. So and I was just thinking about that because what goal do you set on your account? Like what is the goal with your account? And so I know people that had a goal about this account should please others with pictures on my home or inspirational, renovation, for example. But then suddenly they actually want to change and do something else, and they try to change, but they say like, it's so hard because I want to please my audience, and my audience wants something else. So they have built their account on others' opinions, others' ideas of what you should share, and they expect that, and it's hard to like go your own way and follow your heart on your account because you have an audience that wants something else, and you get stuck in this situation where you start people pleasing. So once again, I think when we start our account, like go inside and really like ask yourself, like, what do I want to talk about? What lights me up? What brings me joy to talk about? Because that's also something that makes it so much easier to be authentic and to be yourself. And also, you don't people please. You just do what you like and love. So.
Totally. And this remembers me, I think it was last week or the other one, someone told me that I was sharing the offer I'm launching at this moment. And she was telling that I should show type of styles, showing how I dress and give tips. And this is something I don't want to bring. And this is not something, although I'm an image consultant and I bring this to my mind, and now I have a specific offer on this, I don't want to bring, because I don't want people to feel that they need to only my type of style is the right one. Because normally what we see is it's easier to image consultants to show their style, and they tips around their style. And people, yes, they will attract aligned people that align with that type of style, but I don't want people to align only with my style. I want them to feel free. I want them to feel free to be themselves. So if may not align with my style, personal style on clothing and all that stuff, but I want them to feel free about being themselves. And if they want to be casual, they are casual. If they want to be romantic, they are romantic. But I don't want to bring all those tips. Many you find on Google, right? Because I work on the essence part before starting to give tips, and many you can Google. It's important to connect with your essence and know what you want. And I saw that Laura was replying to what she asked, and she was saying here about dressing differently.
Yeah.
You dress differently if you feel that how you are dressing now is not in alignment with your essence, right? If you are not happy with what you have. But it's important to, again, go deep and understand your essence, because if you dress differently because you want to be more polished
People
or
please.
yes, people please attract a type of clientele. You, because also there is also a misconception that only high clients, the high clients are those that are all polished, all makeup, all those things, and not. No, there are high clients, high paying clients in every type of styles, in every type of lifestyles, right?
Yeah.
And we need to understand how who we deeply are and show that. We will attract high-paying clients that also align with that.
Yeah.
And you don't need to dress differently to accommodate others' expectations or to be a people-pleasing. You can dress differently if you are not happy with what you are at the moment, what you dress, how you look, right? But when you understand your essence, you will understand that some things that you do, that you dress, are already in alignment with your essence. You just need to polish things, and here the polished word is not in a way to now you don't wear makeup, now you wear, or a total shift is polish the corners, right? You can, for instance, you can have a rocky style, but or I go to the sexy one. I like this one because many times we don't have the sexy style, but many women, how do I say? It's not that it's wrong. It's about being in a proper way, right? When we do or when we bring too much of a type of style, we may send a message different than what we want. We may be in a different way. And for instance, with a sexy style, it can go to a place that can look not professional, right? It can goes to the how do I say in English? The word doesn't come up. But if you have a casual style, I have my core style is a casual one, and if we only lay on all casual things, it can give a lazy look or a clumsy one, right? We can bring, so we have a core style, but we can polish the corners and improve. It's not a total shift, because if that is our core style, it's aligned with our essence. We need to polish things so we look better. We prioritize comfort, the casual style is there, but there are several ways to improve our personal image and accommodate all being comfortable and being a little bit more polished also. And yes, act like the person you want to become and eventually will become like it. Yes, it was like I was saying, you can start to bring things, right? For instance, if you are a person that take feedbacks very personally, you can start to take a step back and understand instead of reacting right away, and try to understand from what place that feedback comes, and instead of react, act accordingly. And if we do a previous work in a work, we can anticipate how we will act if this situation, if this type of comment comes toward us, right? It's a little bit also about managing confrontations from anticipation, not suffering from anticipation, but in a way set boundaries. And if this happens, I will allow this, I will not allow this. A little bit like this, right? Tell me what.
Yeah. So when it comes, if a confrontation comes, I would say, as you say, like not react just by your fear of like, oh no, what if, instead take a moment, as you say, but if you do the real inner deeper work, you might know that what it actually triggers, like what fears it actually is, what maybe it's a trauma, maybe it's something else from the past, or you just know that this triggers fear in me, so I'm gonna have self-compassion here and not react instantly, because normally we don't need that. We always can find time to just take a break and just go inside and have possibility to actually navigate, like, what actions do I want to take on fear and what action can I take on love instead. And there is a lot of stuff that you can learn about that. I have some freebies as well. I think you might have that link, but anyways, that way you can learn a little bit about like common mistakes we do when we get confronted and so on, because there is some simple stuff you can do just to manage it a little bit different than just let your fears drive you to react on different ways, because it's not always do you good to just react on fears, and in the end it just feels better in your heart when you're conscious about what you do and how you respond when something like that happens. And I think just a reflection on your talk about clothes and so on, what I hear is that when you find like this is me, and you give this tips just to make it shine a little bit more. It's like the talk we did about feeling the joy. Like when you feel joy about talking about something, then that's the right path. And if you find clothes that just make you feel so much more happy and in love with yourself and so, like, that's something good. And I guess so as you say, it's not about changing big things. So what I hear is more like making you feel much more joy dressing up and being in front of camera, and that's really beautiful. And
Yes.
like
Totally.
I am a dance teacher, and I can hear like it's almost similar as I think about when I see someone dancing, because we talk about like here's the right step to take when you dance, but then everyone's body have a different body language. It's like we have an essence inside of us. Some people are tall and a little bit clumsy. Do you say clumsy? And some people are really smooth and like, really like maybe a tiny body or something. And bodies can like do the right moves, but still look different. And it's so beautiful to see. And when you see that, you can say like, embrace that, embrace your style of movement. And I guess it's a little bit like the same that you explained, like instead of changing that, like embrace that and just use that when you dance because you get your own style. So,
Yes, totally, totally. Oh, so great that.
yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if Laura already. She told she was going away. Thank you, Laura, for being here. And if you are watching this on replay, hashtag replay, and because we will respond to your comments afterwards if you want to add some insights to this also. Evelina, tell me, do you have any uh, three tips or three insights you want to share to people improve or manage confrontations in their relationships so they can show up? Because this also impacts when we have confrontations at home or with friends that don't understand or don't value what we do.
Yeah.
It impacts how we show up for our business also, right? It impacts our energy. It impacts how much or little we show up.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any insights you want to share?
So one thing is, as we talk about, like really mind about who you have around you and who can support you when this happens. Like who can you really trust, give you advice and give you support that really lights you up instead of making you doubt yourself. So I think, as we were talking about before, like surround yourself with people that might maybe even is a little bit more confident than you, because that will give you like the confidence you need to not doubt yourself. And as we were speaking about criticism as well, like really trust your gut feeling, trust your inner knowing that if this is right for you, if you have posted something, for example, and someone says something to you around that, I always say that the most important thing we can do, the biggest thing to actually find our inner calm when this happens, when someone confronts you about something, is to look at yourself and in your heart, like, why did I post this? Why did I talk about it this way? What was my intention behind it? Because if you are, like many of us are, like if you are a really a big-hearted person, you normally have good intentions behind what you do, right? So trust that and go inside of yourself and find that key. But that's a real key, because then you can, this person that confronts you, you have this shield of like your intention is the shield, for sure.
Yeah, certainly. And I can say that you don't need to have all your family and friends following you.
No,
If you are
absolutely.
doing, if you are using your profiles for business, you don't need to have them. If you feel that they bring you bad energy, even they don't interact, but you know they are watching,
Yeah.
and you feel the pressure and you feel that you are not letting yourself showing up as yourself because they are watching, they don't need to be there.
No.
And I talk from experience. In my past business, I had a family member that I knew she was watching all of it because she was always on stories, what she every single story and never interact. The only times she would interact was when I was making a story to sell something, and many times I would put those interaction stickers. Do you love it? Do you all those things? And she was always negative, negative,
Okay.
negative. And I was like, why are you here if you don't like it? You are not my ideal client, so go off. And I deleted her from being a follower.
Yeah.
So and on Facebook also, I don't have. Let me think. I think not. I don't have family members there. I have some friends, but they are ones that I know they are watching, but they don't make that pressure on me. So if they like, if they don't like,
Yeah.
no, if this is a
And I
sign,
mean, you
I
can
can say.
you
But
can also like decide on Facebook, for example, who will see your posts. So you can decide to not show it
yes,
for family members. And I think,
yes,
of course, they are, curious about your business, but you can post something about your business to your family as well, and just decide that the other people will not see that. So you have the opportunity, for
yes,
sure.
totally,
Yeah.
totally, yes,
Just
sure. So
set
tell me.
boundaries.
Yes, has been such a great conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
thank you
thank
so
you
much.
for being here. Thank you so much. This was such a great conversation.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Thank you.
thank
Bye.